We just don't build like this. Most construction is much simpler. We'll get very simple window detailings. If we put a little bit of stone around a window, that's great. This building, we've got stone everywhere, and the detailing and the effort required to get it done right and look right, and not be too much. It's a huge effort.
We have about an 18th month masonry duration. The entire duration of the project is 24 months. So that's just how involved that portion of the job is. Masonry, right now, we have about 70 masons on this project, about 5 crews, 4 superintendents, and that is soon to expand into more manpower once we get completely dried in and open up other elevations of brick to be laid.
You don't see this going up anywhere downtown. This is the largest masonry package in Nashville right now. So because we're using a lot of natural stone on the project, there's variation in that natural stone as it relates to colors, mineral deposits, and other things that the architect will want to see to make sure that what they had in their mind from a design intent standpoint matches the material that we're sourcing. This is Crab Orchard, one of the 4 stones that's on this job that's sourced from the plateau, from the Crossville area in Tennessee, and they get dropped and sorted here. So we create from the contract documents that the architect has drawn where to put this piece of Crab Orchard on that wall. There's several different sizes. They may look random when you see them on the wall, but they're actually planned. So you can see here around these windows, there's a limestone surround, and there's a piece of stone that juts out into the plane of the brick. Well, that stone has to be sized in order for the brick to work around it. The mason has to have several things in place before he can come to an area. So the sheathing must be on, the air barrier, the water barrier, the eave framing at the base of the roof must be in place. The masonry didn't start at the base. It started up at level 3. We had to do that in order to accelerate getting the masonry that conflicted with the roof done. Because once the brick is done above the roof, we can take the scaffold out and run the decking and the roof system over to the tower and get dried in. We can always come back later and do this at ground level. We can't afford to wait on the mason to come in with this scaffold and do everything off of one type of system. We get ahead of the mason with conventional scaffold, completing that work, and then letting the mason come in with his motorized scaffold system. So instead of a platform like this where you're bound by a 5-foot width, they've got about an 8 or 9 foot width. And it also allows them to create a work platform that's continuous across an entire elevation.
The crew that hangs it has been working on it for a long time, and it does. You can't just get your average layperson to get up there and install the stone.
Being a mason, it starts with you give the mason materials as a laborer for a couple years. Then you start to learn about what they're doing, what they need, and then you start to do it a little bit. It takes a lot of years to learn. Just a time-consuming career. You may be 7, 8 years before you start to learn enough.
The architects actually designed every piece of stone. They sized every piece so it would come out here, be the right size, and go in the right location.
The stone comes from the earth naturally. These limestones you see here, any pattern that they make at the quarry, we take it in, and if there's any kind of changes we have to make, maybe just a little bit something in the way, we just maybe take a little bit off the bag. Sometimes the stones didn't quite fit the way they were exactly planned, and so some changes made. It's a very time-consuming process to put all these limestones together.
It's been fascinating to watch it, and we're really excited about it. It's been about a 30-month project, and pretty fast-paced and highly detailed, and we'll get better as we go along.
When I pass by and see it, I have a feeling of fulfillment inside. I was part of this project. and it was great.